Hi. I keep referring back to this book that I'm using, it's kind of glary, a lot of papers out of for my art journaling. And I really like this book for that. I didn't use it for my mixed media, as I said previously, but I do enjoy it for my art journaling. There's a lot of great pictures and colors that are fun to make shapes out of. And it's for me, it's very inspiring. You know, I can take a piece of this and work it into some line work and use this and fill in all the little different, I don't want to use the word textures, the different shapes that there are, and fill those in with different colors and really create something fun and unusual. And it also, gets me out of having to basically think up something new all the time because my brain doesn't work that way. Anyway, let's see. This one I did the last video of mine trying to do this and trying to outline these hearts from papers from that book. Oh, what I was going to say about the book. I'm so sorry. This collage book doesn't have an author, but it is put out by Paper Artistry, I think is the name of it. Yes, Paper Artistry. I found it on Amazon, and it's a great book. I mean, they have different volumes, of course. This one's number 4. They have all different kinds of collage papers out there that you can use for inspiration in your artwork, in your art journal, in doodling, and whatever, you need papers for. I'm someone who hoards papers, and that's why I don't junk journal anymore, because my house turned into a paper mess. It was just, rats would have loved it if they had lived here. It was just papers everywhere. So I couldn't do junk journaling anymore because I was more into collecting papers for it than I was for doing anything. So I'm just using up the supplies I have. But that paper would also be great for junk journaling if that was something that you're doing right now. So getting back to what I was doing, my last video was this page. I was having a problem outlining the hearts with my pen because my hands were giving me such trouble. And on days like that, sometimes I just need to stop and realize, okay, that's not going to work for me right now. So why keep pushing it? So I stopped. But I did go back to it on day 11, and I was able to finish it. And what I did was I switched to a different tool. I love Posca pens. It's my huge obsession right now. They're acrylic ink. They're great. I went and got the finer ones. This is a PC1MR. I was trying to do this in the PC1M, which is the same. It's still a 0.7 millimeter line. However, the PC1M is more like a marker, where this is more like a fine line. So the only difference is the tip. And the same amount of width for your line. However, the tip is different. This is harder. This has a metal shaft as compared to the, let's see, here I've got, this is a PC, it's a 3M. Here's a PC1M. You can see the tip, although the tip itself will give you a 0.7 millimeter line, it's a softer tip. So it doesn't have, it's got more of a softer tip, more on the lines of kind of like a marker sort of brush pen, only not soft like a brush pen. It just doesn't hold up as well when you're trying to go around a raised shape. I tend to take the the PC1Ms and tried to go around shapes. However, what just doesn't work well for me. So I went and pulled out a PC1MR, which I love. And that's how I was able to go around these lines. Came back in with my PC1M and filled in all of the spaces that needed to be dark. And I was really happy with how it turned out. I thought it was great. I liked it. It felt good. I got it completed. That was great. So I had other hearts that I had already cut out into shapes, but they were out of a 12 by 12 stamp book paper pack that's really heavy duty. It was great for junk journaling when you're making envelopes and things that needed a heavy paper. However, it wasn't great for gluing down. And I had a bunch of purples. A few of these were like mixed media papers I have, but the rest is all from that paper pack. And the paper pack was by 49 and Market. And it was beautiful purple paper pack. That's hard to say too many times fast. And so I glued it down, but they wouldn't glue properly. So I had to use matte gel. So I had to put a thick cover of matte gel. I had to glue them down. I had, it pretty much made a mess, but I continued through it because a lot of doing this is experimentation, seeing what can happen and seeing how well my supplies work on top of other supplies, what works, what doesn't work. Will I use a heavy stamp book paper for hearts or anything I want to collage upon again? No, absolutely not. I can use it for a whole page, but I don't want to use it for pieces that I'm going to glue down that I want to go around in a way like this. It didn't work. It was very hard. It was very hard to go around. But I did find out that the Poscas work great on top of matte gel. Even though it's more of a plasticky surface, the Posca pens did fine. And you could see that by how I went around them. It's not the cleanest because it was a mess to begin with, but yeah. So anyway, it was a good try. I won't do it again and learn something new. And I think that's all about getting in and trying to create. It's all about learning what works well with what doesn't, and what feels good and what just gets frustrating. So enjoy. I hope you have a happy creating day, and I'm off to do a little bit more. Have a great day. Bye-bye.